What's going on, everyone? Slovosh here. Want to bring you guys another Murders at Karlov Manor mono black control deck. This one can be used for play queue or for ranking up on the ladder. This is a pretty well-rounded curve. It has a little bit more horsepower than the toolbox deck that I did last, just because you go over 4 CMC slot to kind of give you some late game bombs and recurability with some of your creatures. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the 1 CMC slots. We have Dreams of Steel and Oil for artifact removal or exile of a key creature that might be part of a combo piece. Knight Errant Eos, could be an Urbrask's Forge, something like that, maybe an Atraxa. Duress, you can kill removal spells, enchantments, draw cards, counter spells, or planeswalkers. So both of these are very good, but we don't go real heavy in the mono or the CMC 1 slot here. We jump right up into 2 CMC slot. We got Deep-Cavern Bats. We got 3 of these. These guys fly. They lifelink to gain you back some life. They give you the knowledge and insight of what your opponent's playing very early on, which is super advantageous. You can hold cards hostage, and you can play around conditional removal spells very well, just knowing what your opponent has in their hand. Got 2 Go for the Throats, 1 Long Goodbye, and 2 Sheoldred's Edicts for creature removal. It's a very aggro-heavy meta, so you need quite a bit. So we're running a total of 5 in the 2 CMC slot. Then for the late game bomb / control matchups, we have Outrageous Robbery. If you can get enough mana and play your opponent's deck, that's always a great feeling. And then with control decks, you want to do it at the end of their turn after they do something in response, like a Memory Deluge or something like that. You can end up taking a lot of their cards and then counter spells on your own, which is cool. In the 3 CMC slot, we got a good blend of Graveyard Hate and just powerful creatures. We got Graveyard Trespasser to gain and drain, kill some graveyard recursion creatures, and then it also has the ward discard a card, so it's just a 2-for-1 special whenever they have to do targeted removal. Preacher of the Schism, token generator, good blocker, death touch, and has the ability to draw you a card. I don't know what else you could ask for in the 3 CMC slot. Liliana, just for card hate, ward creature removal, things like that, and obviously the threat of the ultimate going into destruction mode, which is always a threat for control matchups. We got 3 Path of Perils because Boros Convoke is a real thing, so is mono red, and it's very prevalent, so we need to sweep the board quite a bit. This is a little bit of a nombo with the Deep-Cavern Bat, so you kind of got to gauge the matchup. You don't want to remove something with a Deep-Cavern Bat that they're going to get back and then gain a ton of value from, so kind of play these 2 carefully together. But you can remove and mess up curves quite well with a bat and then still clear the board with the path. We got 1 Celestus in here. This just allows us to gain some life. This allows us to filter our hand, remove some of the cards that aren't very good for a matchup, and it also fixes our mana so that we can gain access to white if we wanted to do a full power Path of Peril. In the 4 CMC slot, we got Sheoldred the Apocalypse, Sorin the Mirthless, and 2 Starving Revenants. You could probably go down to 1 Starving Revenant and 2 Sheoldreds. It's up to you. But the Starving Revenant is very good against control matchups that aren't doing a lot of like life total pressuring, because these guys just eventually draw you so many cards, it's kind of nuts. Good blocker too. In the 5 CMC slot, we got Aclazotz, just super valuable creature. It's got the lifelink, flying, makes you draw or makes the opponent discard on each attack, and it's really hard to get rid of because you basically get a free land off it. So if it's just non-exile removal that the opponent has, this is pretty much a guaranteed target, and it's also guaranteed to come back as long as they don't have a way to kill the land before you can reanimate them again. We got 2 copies of Deadly Cover-Up because sometimes you need a board sweep, and this also allows you to remove certain spells that are problematic from control matchups, or just exile entire play sets of a certain card that is part of a combo piece. We have 1 copy of Sheoldred. This is just really good for planeswalker removal. It's a great blocker, and then obviously the True Scriptures transformation is absolutely nutty if the opponent has 8 cards in their graveyard. So Sheoldred works really well with Breach the Multiverse, which is why we have 2 copies of Breach. We have 1 copy of Chimil. This is very good against control matchups because this just gives you endless value. Every end of turn you get to discover 5, which most of our curve is below 5 or at 5 CMC, so we get to draw and get a lot more value from this. As I said, Breach the Multiverse is great for recursion. This is good for playing the opponent's deck. This is good for bringing back Sheoldreds and then doing the ultimate the next turn to gain every creature in all graveyards kind of effect through the True Scriptures. We also have removal in the form of the Locthwain Scorn on Virtue Persistence, and then very late game we can play Virtue Persistence to gain a creature back every turn from the graveyard without really any additional investment. We're running 25 lands. We got 20 swamps, 1 Takenuma, 1 Blast Zone, 1 Field of Ruin, and 2 Mirrex. Mirrex is very good against control matchups. Field of Ruins are there for taking domain decks off of their land base and making them select 1 instead of having to try them, or you can get rid of man lands. The Blast Zone does come in handy against like mono red because they have a lot of 1 or 2 CMC guys that you can just board sweep for basically 3 mana. It's pretty nice. It's like another Path of Peril. This can also kill artifacts, enchantments, and so on, because it doesn't care what it is as long as it matches that CMC. It's blowing up. So that's why it's in here. It's kind of a ace in the hole. But anyways, guys, that's the deck. We're running 60 cards, 25 lands with 1 mana rock. We usually don't have any mana problems at all. We don't have an access to sideboard or any way to tutor up anything, so we kind of just play the curve as it goes. But yeah, this deck feels really good on, like I said, ladder and in play queue. So I hope you guys enjoy some of the gameplay here coming up. Feel free to craft this one or give me some recommendations on things you might think I should change. And remember to do all that YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in those games. Peace out. This is an acceptable opening hand. If it's a aggro matchup, we're kind of going to be screwed by keeping it, but we have a lot of ramp here and some removal. I think I'll keep it. Looking like a Boros Convoke, probably. I'm guessing we won't see a Path of Peril because of the matchup. Let's take out the Inspector. Gain some life back. I'd like to keep ramping. Next turn we can drop a Sheoldred, which is great. Or even an Aclazotz is better. Now we got some lifelink. If it dies, it dies, and then we get basically a ramp. Go ahead and block the Inspector. They gonna Ganjo. Perfectly fine with me. mean, we can already breach the multiverse right now, which is kind of nuts. Which we might. All right. Let's get some blockers from their deck. And then in my hand, I feel like Lily might be okay. We'll just go ahead and keep their board nice and clear. Take them off of Convoke status. They have 13 in their deck. That will hurt for sure. Wow. And another 1-drop. Oh man. We're gonna path. This should be pretty backbreaking for him. And transform this guy. And we'll +1 for Lily here. If it'll let me, I'll probably drop the Edict. Now we got a lifelinker on the board, unless they can come up with 10 damage with no cards in hand and nothing on the board. Bivouac could come in and get Lily, but that's not a real concern of mine. That's damage, not to my face. And Aclazotz will take over the role for discarding. So in our graveyard we have basically no creatures. What do they got in theirs? Yeah, I'll take that action. Drop the Go for the Throat. Let's we'll swing in. They got to drop a card off. If it's a land, I get a token. Yep. Hit in. And we will +1 with Lily, and we'll drop our own card off here. We're gonna blow up this Bivouac because it's a problem. Alright. Not a bad turn. Opponent is sticking it out though. Okay, never mind. Dismantled. Alrighty, we're back. 3 lands, always good. Outrageous Robbery is good late game. Quality creature for 3 CMC and 2 removals. I will definitely keep. Mosswood Dread Knight. Bushwhack. Oh. So they're going to have an obliterator, basically, is what that means. Okay. Let's get these cards in order. Alright, we're going to save the Sheoldred's Edict because it's our only removal for over 3 CMC, but we're going to definitely take this guy out. We'll drop a Blast Zone here, and then we're going to eat that Gix. They don't have 4 black lands. Okay. I think this is what we're going to do here. We're going to take a look at their hand, see what they got cooking. Okay. So they got Tail Wipe. We're going to remove that. Go ahead and Sheoldred's Edict. They might scoop on spot here. I don't know. We'll remove the Roaming Throne just for max damage. They basically have lands in their hand right now. Okay. No worries. I would like some creature removal again, that'd be great. I'm just going to keep forcing my way in there, though. Take them off any kind of evidence collecting. Alright, so we got 5 mana. We're going to do a 3 cost Outrageous Robbery. Mosswood Dread Knight. It does not flip because from Adventure those don't count as a spell, I don't believe. See if we can get some lands and removal, something of that nature. Ooh. Take a Cavern of the Souls. They definitely don't have what do we want this for, though? I don't know. I guess we'd put it for Bat. Ooh, this will be backbreaking. Make it fight this. And then we will... Oh. That's just a direct fight spell, huh? That was dumb of me. I thought that was a tail swipe effect where you just get to do the damage. Targeting creature fights. Ah, yeah, I fucked up there. I should have got a land, probably. That could cost me the game. We'll see. Let's, we can charge this up too. I'm just tired of this thing yelling at me. We'll get it on, hopefully, 3 or 4. They named Phyrexian again. Alright, my graveyard. I'm going to do Aclazotz. Their graveyard. I guess I do Obliterator. Okay. I was going to say, they were definitely looking for the Phyrexian Obliterator. I didn't want to give them any opportunity to reanimate it, so that's why I took that. I I would have been probably much happier with the Glissa, because you just can't block with that. And the Armored Scrap Gorger would have been good too, but that whole deck pivoted on that Obliterator. Alright, we got ourselves a match here. This hand is not very good. You really don't want to see a Breach in the opening hand. It's kind of a dead card because you're so far away from 7 CMC. Outrageous Robberies don't scale well with early game, and the only card that's playable right now would be a Dream of Steel and Oil. So we're going to mulligan. This is much better. I will probably put the Sheoldred back. Just because we have some creature hate, and then Revenant will draw us more cards. Or I could put back the Edict and keep the Sheoldred and the Revenant. Might do that, actually. The combo between Sheoldred and the Revenant the next turn is just mass life gain. It's awesome. Get the Mirrex down. Might be a mono white control, something like that. They're not doing a thing, so keep passing. It's fine by me. They can thin her deck if they want. Get down Sheoldred. This will probably draw some removal, which is fine. Okay. Let's get some... We don't want to miss a land drop, so let's get the Revenant down. Take both. Just get into their hand. Yeah, we're going to take their card draw away. Hollowed Haunting is a problem, but this drawing cards every turn. Although with Sheoldred on the board, it's not a bad idea, but I just don't want them to have that value. So we're going to go in. Got some really beefy boys on the board, too. Play Outrageous Robbery last. They're in a predicament here. Okay. I don't want to miss the land drop, so I think I'm going to do the Revenant again. I'll probably take both again. We can spend the removal on this to keep pressuring them. They're dead on board. They will get a creature down, I'm sure. But if that's all they do this turn, then they are donezo. It gives us some life back. Okay. I think I'm going to attack in. They'll probably block, I imagine. See, I'm not going to play the Bat because I don't want to end up doing the Path of Peril, which is very apparent that that's going to be the strategy, is go wide with little dirtly dudes. Graveyard Trespasser is great because it's above 3 CMC. Yeah, let's get rid of the Toscus. Welcome. So this is 2 CMC, and that's 3. What do we want to do here? I think this is not. Okay, I don't want him to gain life, that's for sure. If I'm gonna wipe the board, then that doesn't sound smart. Let's Let's hit him with the Outrageous Robbery. Go for 4. Okay. So we hit our 7 lands. So now we're not too worried about Graveyard, but I don't really want them to gain a life, which stinks. Take out Lay Down Arms. Okay, so they got a big Catilda, which we will hit with Seal from Existence. And then we will Path. And then we will come in big time. We will eat this guy. And we got nothing else here, so we'll just take out the Field of Ruin. Let's get the bat down because we're not sweeping again. Chimil. We're going to put that in our hand. A little late on the Gobakon, brother. I mean, they can make Path cost 3, but I was going to say that can't even block. I don't know why I would sweep, but that's game. Deck has a pretty good win rate. I know you can't see this, but the tracker is at 87% right now. Okay. 4 lands, lots of removal, and a little bit of an in-game engine, so we'll take that. This one of the Graveyard Reanimator style decks. It's looking that way. This very well might actually be just a Titan of Industry kind of rampy here. I think with this downtime, hold on, how many? They have 3 cards in Graveyard. That won't work for Squirming Emergence yet. So let's get rid of this guy. Thin out our deck a little bit. We're flooding quite a bit. That might take them off of green or blue, which it took them off of blue, which is great. So they don't have access to their otherworldly gazes or their pickpocket now. We will sit and spin for a second. We're going to Mirrex at the end of their turn, so I'll put a stop. I really think what creatures? Okay, let's get some pressure down. If they're trying to get stuff in their bin without blue mana, that's going to be a problem. They got 5 in hand. Or in 5 in graveyard. Still don't have the blue mana. That's why Field of Ruin is so good, man. Make sure the auto tapper doesn't fuck me. Hello. Just get max pressure down. Got him on the poison front and life total front. If they don't draw a blue source here soon, they're going to be screwed. Really. Okie doke. Did I play land? I think I played the Blast Zone. In turn. Do you lose because you don't have blue mana? That Sheoldred is definitely not going to save you at all. Okay, so looking back, the turn 3 Field of Ruin on their dual land that was a creature land was the best thing ever. It 100% took them off of being able to play any blue spells, so they couldn't keep dumping things in the bin with Otherworldly Gaze. They couldn't play their Pickpocket or Picklock Prankster. They probably didn't have any way of milling more because they took they took very selective blue lands in their Golgari build and had no access to half the cards in their hand. So that is why we run Field of Ruin. Obviously, man lands are a thing right now, but then also domain decks that don't have a certain color. If you can figure it out and take that one card out of their chain of command kind of thing, it's just groundbreaking, or backbreaking. It's not groundbreaking. Anywho, I'll take that W. Thanks. Alright. This is kind of not good in the opening hand. That's definitely not good in the opening hand, but Preacher and a Revenant is pretty good, and 3 lands is always good, so I go first. I'm going to keep it. See what the matchup is. Could be a looking like just mono white. Got the Cathar. Put down the Sheoldred first, and then next turn we'll Starving Revenant if the Sheoldred survives. Just because that's a lot of card drawing gain. And it won't pain me to get the cards out in my hand if I do it this way. Ossify, huh? They got all the answers so far. This is definitely like a mono-white taxes type deck. Definitely think my creatures are a little better, but if they keep top decking removal, I'm gonna be in a problem. Alright, they kind of brick-walled a little bit. Let's get this down. Please draw a removal spell. I did not. This is going to hurt a lot. Nope. I got a double spell here. I don't know if that counts. It might. Okay. Get both our guys back. Definitely the path. Don't think we can afford taking that life. Alright, we got that down. Path is a little too expensive. I don't think we can attack in yet. Block here. Let's clean up this board. And they didn't want none after that. I was coming in with the Sheoldred. Probably attacking with this guy as well, because he would give me a lifelinker and just free damage. Yep, alright. All they had is Adeline. Their hand must have been meh outside of that. Had a way to kill their Foundry if they activated. Yes, sir. We'll take it. What's going on, guys? Slovosh here. Wanted to bring you a post-games wrap-up. Just want to show you the quantitative data here on this deck. I hope you guys can see the arena tracker here. This is since I reloaded Magic Arena Assistant, and I've been tracking the games with my control deck. I just want to show you guys. Right now we are rocking an incredibly high win rate. Right now it's 91% over the course of 12 games total. So we had 11 wins, 1 loss. I would say that's higher than it should be. I've had some pretty good matchups, so I don't know what's going on, but this deck is performing very well in play queue, and it fares very well in the ladder as well for ranking. I just wanted you guys to see this so you knew that I wasn't full of crap, but I also wanted to get back into what changes I would make for the deck. So hopefully on your screen it has switched over to the deck view. I'm going to try this a few times if it doesn't work, but if you can see the deck here, I like just about everything in this deck how it is. The only thing that might need to be swapped is you could do maybe one more swamp for another Field of Ruin, because man lands are just a huge pain in the butt right now, and that ability to take domain decks off of their color is very important as well. Outside of that, guys, I think it's in a really good spot. This is quite a few revisions of the deck that I've been kind of trying to perfect. It really is a 50-50 toss-up for which one of these is better. In the first slot, I had 2 Dreams of Steel and Oil, but then I came against control matchups, and I wish I had Duress. So I just did 1-on-1 there. You guys can feel free. This is kind of a flex spot, and you can put whatever you want in the 1 CMC. If you're not feeling Duress or Dreams of Oil, you can replace those. As I said before, if you aren't a fan of Starving Revenant or don't have the wild cards, but you have lots of Sheoldreds, obviously every Starving Revenant could be a Sheoldred, or you could do 1 Starving Revenant, 2 Sheoldreds. You could do 2 Sheoldreds and a Massacre Girl or something along those lines. Anything that gives you a little bit of card draw. If you do go Massacre Girl, though, you probably would want to change some of your removal around to be more of the negative effects. So Virtue Persistence is really good for that. You also might do like Drown and Ichor, or even just the Disfigure or something like that in the 1 CMC slot, just to remove small dirtily creatures once you have the copy of Massacre Girl out. But there's a lot of pieces to make that work really well. Great card, but ultimately I like the Starving Revenant because it gives you that ability to kind of combat control decks, because they can't really let you have it, so you have to waste the removal or counterspell on it. And if they do removal spell, you still netted 2 cards, and they're not pressuring your life total a whole lot. So just really, really good there. That's why there's 2 of them and only 1 Sheoldred. But yeah, that's the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed the games. I actually was able to just do 5 straight games, no cherry picking. I wasn't trying to be selective. I was going to show losses in there too. I did have a couple of misplays that I thought were going to cost me the game, but it ended up kind of smoothing itself out. So yeah, I really did not edit any of the games. As you can see on that deck tracker, I played 5 straight with this, got 5 wins with this, and that was all in play queue. Keep that in mind. But deck is performing really well. I really like this one. And this is usually my go-to if I want a little bit higher top end than my toolbox deck. So hope you guys like the deck. Feel free to craft it. I'll probably make a link on EtherHub. That'll be in the description below. I'll try to make timestamps, all that good stuff. And then if you guys have any suggestions for things to replace or swap out, let me know in the comments. I hope to hear from you guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next game. Peace.